Decocking a semi-automatic. There are many types of semi-automatic pistols, and each one can be quite different. Some have a feature called a decocking mechanism. Simply engage that mechanism, and the pistol will automatically decock. You should always consult your owner's manual for the correct procedure on how to decock your particular pistol. I suggest the safest way to decock a fire-ready semi-automatic pistol without a decocking mechanism is to simply safely unload it. Section 3. Let's discuss ammunition. First, let's look at the four components of a cartridge. The case, which holds everything together, the primer, the powder, and the bullet. Now, how does the cartridge fire? The firing pin or the hammer strikes the primer, creating a spark, which in turn ignites the powder to produce an extreme amount of quickly expanding hot gas that forces the bullet forward through the barrel. Now, we have two types of cartridges. The rimfire cartridge. In this type cartridge, the primer is deposited within the case and completely around the rim of the cartridge. The centerfire cartridge. With this cartridge, the primer is found in a cup that is pressed into the rear of the case that we call a head stamp. Now, it is very important that we use correct ammunition in our firearms. Terrible things can happen and will happen when you use incorrect ammunition in your gun. Your gun can be damaged or destroyed. You can also be harmed. Your gun is designed for a particular type of ammunition. So how do you determine what type to use? First, you want to check your owner's manual. The manual will give you a detailed description on the type of ammunition your gun is designed for. Now, on a revolver, the ammunition type is etched into the barrel. On a semi-automatic, it's found on the chamber. So now you know the correct ammunition to use. When you purchase ammunition, you want to make sure that the designation on the box is exactly the same as found in your owner's manual and on your pistol. Finally, you can check the head stamp of the cartridge. It should be stamped on the rear of the case. I want to talk about a special designation you might find on your cartridge. It's plus P and plus P plus. This designation lets you know that the ammunition is a hot load. It's been loaded with a powder that will produce much more pressure upon igniting to force the bullet out of the barrel more quickly. Because of the increased pressure produced by this type of ammunition, you should never place it in a firearm that's not specifically designed to handle it. If it is placed in a firearm that can only accept standard ammunition, it will definitely damage your gun. Finally, let's talk about 3 common malfunctions of a cartridge. You can have a misfire. This cartridge has failed. It's not fired. You can have a hang fire. Now, this cartridge is fired, but only after a delay. So now you're at the range firing your gun. The cartridge did not fire. We have a misfire. Not necessarily. It could be a hang fire. We want to always treat a misfire as a hang fire. And so what we correctly do is hold it for 30 seconds downrange, making sure the cartridge doesn't fire. If it doesn't, we simply unload the gun and dispose of that cartridge. A third malfunction is a squib load. This cartridge does fire, but does so in a very limited way. You'll notice less noise, less recoil, possibly even less muzzle flash. If you think you've experienced a squib load, you should immediately stop firing your gun. Unload it safely. Make sure that a bullet is not lodged in the barrel. Many times a squib load will produce enough pressure to push the bullet out of the barrel, but sometimes the bullet will remain lodged. If this is the case, the gun cannot be fired until the lodged bullet has been removed. Okay, section 4, the fundamentals of shooting. Let's list the 5 fundamentals. There's aiming, breath control, hold control, trigger control, and follow through. There are 2 things that can affect our pistol shooting fundamentals. The first is proper grip. Let me show you how to correctly grip a double-action revolver. You're going to place the web of your hand as high as possible on the back strap of the pistol. Wrap your bottom 3 fingers around the grip. Your trigger finger should rest along the side of the frame. Now you take your non-shooting hand and wrap it around the shooting hand, making sure the heels of your hands match. Notice that the thumbs are tucked and crossed. Now, the proper grip on a semi-automatic is very similar, but with one difference. Again, we take the web of the shooting hand, place it as high as you can on the grip of the pistol. You want to wrap the bottom 3 fingers around that grip with your trigger finger pointed straight ahead along the side of the frame. Now, take your non-shooting hand, wrap it around your shooting hand, ensuring that the heels of both hands match. Both thumbs should be pointed straight ahead, one on top of the other. And this is the only difference between the grip of a semi-automatic and a double-action revolver. The other thing that can affect your shooting fundamentals is proper stance. Let's talk about the isosceles stance, because it is the most common and most comfortable stance. So let's demonstrate it. First, we're going to get our proper grip and place our feet at shoulder width apart, our legs straight, knees not locked. Our back should be straight, our head erect, and our arms fully extended. The pistol is now brought to eye level. Finally, you must be relaxed and comfortable, not stiff or strained in any way. Now, proper grip and stance covered, let's take a look at the fundamentals. The first fundamental is aiming, and it consists of 3 things. You have sight alignment. Sight alignment means correctly aligning the front sight with the rear sight. It has nothing to do with your target. Sight picture. Sight picture is simply placing the correctly aligned sight in its proper relationship to the target. Finally, we'll talk about focus. We want to keep both eyes open and maintain our focus on the front sight. You'll see a picture of a properly aligned sight placed in correct relationship to the target. This is the entire sight picture. Notice the front sight, or the post, is exactly level with the rear sight. The front sight sits within the notch with equal spacing on each side. Your desired point of impact rests on top of the front sight. Now, our second fundamental is hold control. Hold control allows you to maintain a proper sight picture and proper sight alignment while firing your gun. Grip is the most important factor in hold control. Just so you know, it's virtually impossible to hold a pistol in shooting position without some motion. This motion is what we call the arc of movement. With practice, a shooter can minimize the arc of movement, but it can never be eliminated. Our third fundamental is breath control. As you know, when you inhale, your chest rises. When you exhale, your chest falls. And while you're in firing position, this movement is directly transferred into your handgun. So what do? We simply stop breathing. When in position, we breathe in. You exhale to a comfortable place. You hold your breath and fire. Our fourth fundamental, trigger control. If this is properly employed, the sight alignment should not be affected by the act of engaging your trigger. Place the pad of your trigger finger on the trigger, and in one fluid motion, squeeze the trigger rearward until your gun fires and surprises you. You should never try to anticipate when your gun will fire. This will always cause you to react in some way and misalign your sights. Also, never jerk the trigger. This will definitely affect your accuracy. Now, our fifth and final fundamental is follow-through. Follow-through simply means that you're maintaining all of your shooting fundamentals before, during, and after the shot. Just like many other sports, golf, tennis, basketball, follow-through is very important for accuracy. When a basketball player attempts a foul shot, he goes through the same motions every time he steps to the line. When he takes the shot, he continues to follow through. This increases his accuracy. This also applies to shooting a pistol. I like to say that follow-through is the icing on the cake of accuracy. Follow-through also leaves you in a good position to take a second shot. You've maintained all the fundamentals, and you can now access your target quickly. Okay, our last section is maintenance and cleaning. It is important that you clean and maintain your handgun on a regular basis. If you refer to your owner's manual, you will find details on how to maintain your particular pistol. These details will include disassembly instructions, parts that require cleaning, and places and parts that should be lubricated. Many times you'll find recommendations on the types of solvents and lubrication to use. Let's look at the supplies needed for cleaning and maintaining. We have solvents to clean the powder residue. We have lubricating oil designed for your firearm. We have cleaning hardware, including brushes, needle eye attachment, and safety goggles. Clean cloth, patches, and a cleaning rod designed to carry these attachments through the bore and chambers. Now I'm going to demonstrate the cleaning process. First, make sure your firearm is unloaded. Always have no ammunition in the room. Always wear your safety goggles. Now, you should refer to the owner's manual for exact instruction for disassembly. Remember, every type of firearm is different. First step is to apply the solvent to the inside of the barrel and the inside of each chamber. Next, you take the bore brush, attach to the cleaning rod, and push it through the barrel and each chamber 2 or 3 times. After that, apply your solvent to the front and rear of your cylinder and the entire surface of the frame. Now, using your brush, you want to scrub these areas. After this, you attach the needle eye to your cleaning rod and hold the patch. You want to run this patch through the barrel and all the chambers.